JRTV is back with NASCAR Winston Cup Series coverage from the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania for the running of the Pocono 500. I'm Joe Rakowski, alongside me, four-time Pocono winner Trey Bardo. Trey, this is your home track, my home track as well. You've won here 4 times, all of which came in the 90s and all of which came in the July race here at Pocono. You never won this June race at Pocono. What was it about this race that was different from the July race?
I like July better.
Oh, is that it? It's just your favorite month?
It's closer to my birthday, so that might be it. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. There isn't really that big of a difference between a month, but maybe just July, winning in July sounded better to me and the team.
I guess so.
I don't know how to explain it to you.
If anything, I would say maybe you learned notes from the first race and you guys just adjusted better than the rest of the field.
That's too logical.
Yeah. There has to be some other weird.
You know me by now, Joe. I don't go logical stuff.
Yeah, I do know that, and I'll try to apply the logic to places you don't want to apply logic.
No, we gotta be honest with the viewers. Come on.
Well, speaking of logic, there was nothing logical about last week's race at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the World 600, Trey. In fact, I would say maybe the most embarrassing moment for the NASCAR World Cup Series happened last race at Lowe's.
I'm just glad I was not a driver in it. I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. I am so happy I was not one of these drivers to be in that race.
I think 41 drivers wish they were in your spot. The only one that didn't was Mathis.
Yeah, that's a very fair point, and the only reason that's because he won the race.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to be considered the winner of that race either.
Yeah, if you can even consider it a race, I don't know. So if you didn't watch last race at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, Nathan Baird involved in numerous cautions as a lap car. We had 6 yellow flags throughout the 80-lap race, and Nathan Baird, because of his role as a lap car, he was involved in 4 or 5 of the 6 cautions. He was handed a 25-point penalty, a fine, and he was given probation along with a 10-place qualifying penalty, which he will serve here today at Pocono. So Baird, that's what he got out of it. Team Sabco, not happy with Nathan Baird, had crews go down. Both crews from Team Sabco, the 40 and the 01 crews, go down and fight. 4 of those crew members got suspended for a few races, and Team Sabco got fined $40,000. And then it didn't stop from there because there was some Richard Childress Racing activity between Justin Atkins and Conrad Evans. Two teammates got into it on pit road after the race. Remember, Atkins wrecked by Conrad Evans off turn number 4. Evans and Atkins didn't see eye to eye in this situation, got into a brawl. Cam Wright, the team owner, called it childish and unnecessary. So Trey, we'll focus on the RCR debacle because you drove for RCR throughout your whole career, and you drove with Conrad Evans last season. Did you see anything like this coming this season?
No, Joe. I didn't see anything. I don't even know how to explain it. Honestly, RCR, and you could even throw a couple other teams in that had just been in shambles this season. No, it's almost like they flipped a switch from being, happy and a fun organization to it's starting to look like WWF out there, Joe. I mean, everyone's just brawling with anyone they can get their hands on.
It's amazing because last season, I think about the teamwork you and Conrad Evans, had where you were teaching Evans the ropes before you went out and joined the commentary team in your retirement. But this season, it seems like RCR, they're not sharing notes maybe, and that there just seems to be this tension in the organization. And now after the brawl between, Conrad Evans and Justin Atkins, the crews are separated in the team shop and also in the garage. That can't be a fun work environment if you're working for RCR.
It's honestly, I don't know. It might be the adding of, in theory, it's 2 new teams. But really, it's only adding 1 brand new team and the other one just getting a rebuild. I guess you can put it in that way. But yeah, it's almost like they're not talking to each other whatsoever. And therefore, all 3 teams are suffering from it. I mean, some drivers on RCR are consistent. Like, if you have Kukul on there, it always seems like he's contending for at least a top 15, maybe a top 10. But if they want to be back to winning order, they got to start working together as a team should.
Speaking of winning order, JGR this season, they've been on top with Roush Racing. JGR 3 wins this season, 2 by Mathis Wells, 1 by Points Chris Jericho. Roush Racing unstoppable this season by Hendrick Motorsports. They've been quiet this season. While Zidell and Sierra are very consistent, Keegan Thompson has had some rough patches, but he's moved up as of last race, back up inside the top 10 in points. But Trey, they only have 1 win this season among all 3 cars, and that was in the Daytona 500, a plate race. So maybe Hendrick can try and find something. All their cars start well here here today at the Pocono Raceway, so we'll see how it goes. Enough with last week. Let's get to this week at Pocono. It's a beautiful day for racing here in Long Pine, Pennsylvania. 77 degrees and some clouds in the air, but not too bad. It should clear up throughout the race. 5-mile-an-hour wind in the southeast direction, and the Pocono Raceway is a 2.5-mile triangle located in Long Pine, Pennsylvania, with 3 distinct corners. 14 degrees of banking in turn number 1, 8 degrees in turn 2, and 6 degrees in turn 3. They're all modeled after different racetracks. We'll talk about that during the race. The track opened in 1971, held its first race here in 1981. Up until 1986, it had 1 race on the calendar. In 1986, it went to 2 races, which were separated by about a month, if not less than a month, until they moved a little bit further apart to where they are now, a little under 2 months apart. And the past 5 winners here in the June race at Pocono: Derek Bouchard, Trey Rainey, Griffin Lynn, Isaac Nichols, and Conrad Evans did it last season in the 31. It's a 40-lap race for 100 miles, and the field window 22 to 25 laps. So we'll see how that comes into play throughout the race here at the Pocono Raceway. And if any yellow flags come out, we didn't see any yellows in this race last season, so we'll see if some yellows change up the strategy throughout the Pocono 500. We're about ready to get underway here at Pocono. Let's go on trackside for the most famous words and more sports to fire the engines up in Long Pine, Pennsylvania.
Drivers, start your engines!
42 cars fired up at the Pocono Raceway to do battle in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. It's going to be a crazy race for sure, especially with the top 2 starting inside the top 3. Mathis Wells won the last time we were here at Pocono, won the last time we raced in the Winston Cup Series in the World 600. So Trey's going for back-to-back wins at Pocono and back-to-back wins in the Winston Cup Series. It's just been an incredible stretch of races for Mathis Wells.
Yeah, if he continues this, he's going to be right up there with the championship win or lead, I should say. And the guy starting next to him, I don't know if he wants to see that happen or not. I mean, these two have good chemistry together, but I don't know how he would feel about that.
It might be a little intimidating since they're coming out of the same shop. Let's go a few rows back to Eli Brand, the 8, who starts in 9th place. Looking for his first ever win in DEI's first win. But last week, he and Anthony Hernandez got together under yellow, wrecked both their cars on the inside while both continued on. But unfortunately, Trey, both Eli and Hernandez talked it out. They're all right after the incident. No hard feelings there. Is that big to continue on with the relationship they have at DEI?
No. I mean, especially since they're on good terms. I mean, Hernandez even said himself it was just, that racing incident that they were both trying to avoid the wreck and just had miscommunications. And it definitely helped with, Lathan Strickland being the third guy in there, probably being the peacemaker between those two. So, I think they're still going to hold strong as a whole organization there, and there should be no worries whatsoever.
And a few rows back, Keegan Thompson. The last 2 races, he's had race-winning cars. Texas, a pit road incident dropped him down even further in points, but last race at Lowe's, a 2nd place finish. Do you think that could be a catalyst for a good stretch of runs here for that number 5?
Third time's the charm, 3rd strong car in a row maybe for Keegan Thompson. I guess we got to wait to see.
We will have to see. Starting inside the top 15 and 15th. But at the front, Brett Sierra on pole, 2nd in points. He gained a good jump on Chris Jericho, but Jericho starts right by him in 3rd. And watch out for Tim Gary, sneaky good this season. That number 10 starts outside pole in 2nd as they come down and take the green flag for the Pocono 500. We're underway in Long Pine, Pennsylvania.
Oh, he's going to make it 3 wide already for the lead.
Yeah, Chris Jericho is wasting no time in that 18 car because that's his championship rival that's starting on pole. He doesn't want him to lead any laps. Down the back straightaway, the race down Long Pine straightaway. They're still looking side by side to the tunnel turn. One of the trickiest turns in the Winston Cup Series.
They got to be careful here going too wide. They look like they're holding all together. 3 wide in the back. Atkins got into the wall, but he should be okay.
Yeah, he just brushed it. That should be just fine. They're still side by side for lead into turn 3, the flattest of the 3 corners. Jericho on the inside, Sierra on the outside, still not giving in the 25. Who's going to lead the first lap of the Pocono 500? Will be the points leader or 2nd in points, Brett Sierra? It's going to be Jericho on the inside to lead the first lap.
For all it's worth, Sierra's doing a really good job on this outside holding off the 18.
Yes, he is. I cannot believe that he's held it that long. We'll see turn 1, though. Normally the inside works a lot better through turn 1 for Jericho. He's trying to also fend off Keyshawn Richardson, and Jericho is clear. He slides up. Here comes Keyshawn looking low. He has up from Mitch Corbett from Haas Car Motorsports.
And here he comes, Eli Bright. We talked about him as well. As you can see, back of the pack there. They're all jumbled up, and hopefully they can hold it together. 3 wide again. They're getting closer, Joe.
Atkins still on the outside. Kukulon is there. Richardson takes the lead from Jericho. I don't know how, Trey. They made it 2 rows of 3 wide through the tunnel turn.
They thought better of it because they're not 3 wide anymore, but they're still 3 wide up here, and we got a new leader.
Mitch Corbett for Husqvarna Motorsports, one of the underfunded teams, moves out in front. He's going to lead the second lap of Pocono. This is big for this team because this is one of those horsepower racetracks, very long straightaways, and also aerodynamics means so much with the flat corners. This is a great run for Mitch Corbett early on this race. I mean, he got really good showing. Another 3 wide for second. Here comes Mitchell Collins to the inside with his teammate Fitzwater.
Oh, he slid up a little bit. Almost got into Eli. They might have touched, but I'm not sure. Fitzwater was thinking about making it 4 wide, but he thought better of that. If they went 4, that could have been a end of a lot of people's races.
And did you see just a row behind? Brett Sierra put Chris Jericho
more contact
in the outside. I mean,
I don't like this, Joe.
I don't like it either, and I don't think Jericho or Sierra likes it. Jericho's going to back up because Sierra off turn 1 made a move to put Jericho on the outside. I think it was on purpose. I don't even think it was for his own gain. I think it was to put the 18 on the outside. Jericho still can't find a way down. He and Tim Garrett falling back. Meanwhile, at the front, it's all Mitch Corbett, Mitchell Collins, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. They're 1, 2, 3, and Noah Clifton for PPR Motorsports up to 4th, and Zidell now 5th in the 24.
I'm telling you, this 24 team, Joe, ever since Dover, I honestly think they've been one of the most consistent teams, or, single cars in this entire series.
Yeah, I would say the 24, as you mentioned, since Dover, probably the best car. 2 Missouri natives getting close. Brett Sierra and Eli Bright were basically slamming doors off turn 1. Somehow they made it work, and Keegan Thompson's low looking 3 wide, trying to push Benny Lynn through. Meanwhile, pass for the lead. Mitchell Collins and Mitch Corbett go at it.
Yo, there's stuff going on everywhere. I don't know where to focus.
Yeah, this is the... honestly, this is more action Pocono saw than both races last season combined.
I'm liking it, though. I mean, again, I've said it once this season so far. I'm going to say it again. I think at the moment I'm liking it up here more than I am down there.
Yeah, this is a lot less nerve-wracking up here than it would be down there. As Mitchell Collins going to lead the 4th lap. His teammate Fitzwater to his inside. Behind them, the battle for 3rd is Noah Clifton getting a big push from Zidell, trying to get inside of Mitch Corbett. Benny Lynn inside the top 10 and 6th. Keegan Thompson to 7th. Hernandez now 8th. Jericho to 9th as he just passed Brett Sierra for the 9th spot. Sierra back in 10th now in that number 25. He's under fire from Caden Lynn. The Team Stabco cars did not qualify well at all. They lost 4 crew members, as mentioned, after the Lowe's Motor Speedway race, but here they are moving up through the field on the inside lane. The 01 going inside the top 10. Colin Teague just a few rows back in that 40 car.
Yeah, I mean, with the loss of 4, pit crew members, it's definitely a hit, but definitely seems like they're going to try to make it worth it here. And here comes Hernandez on the bottom of the 33, going to follow Keegan Thompson through, and they're slowly making their way up this field as well.
You know what? Of any of the DEI cars I thought would have a shot today, I thought Hernandez would be the least because he qualified the worst of them. Eli Bright qualified well inside the top 10. Brian Hernandez showing that he has the race pace. That 1 car flying up just got to 7th by Benny Lynn, and it's not looking like he's slowing down quite yet. Meanwhile, 200 cars moved inside the top 5. Zidell to 4th. He got by Mitch Corbett, and Keegan Thompson also got by Corbett to get to 5th. At the front, still Penske's Collins and Fitzwater 1-2. And Trey, the last few races, they've shown amazing speed. Think about Richmond, they were both really fast, and other races this season, the past 2 races at Texas and Lowe's, they've been really fast. Penske might be a team to watch out for in the second half of the season, but also watch for Noah Clifton to the inside for a second.
He sent that on the inside of Fitzwater. He absolutely did not care what was going to happen, but if he could have made it work, he did. And here comes Zidell to the bottom. He's going to have help from his teammate, Keegan Thompson, right behind him.
I think he saw Keegan move down low, and he said, I got to move low before he gets there, because that 5 is flying up here. Zidell's going to get to 3rd by Clifton. Here comes Thompson trying to push his way through the 5 car. This is absolute insanity at Pocono. We're only 6 laps into it, Trey. There's still over 30 laps to go in this race.
I don't know if I can handle another 30 laps of this action, Joe. I mean, it is very, you have to watch pretty much every part of this track at this point.
And how do you watch every part of the track if it's 2.5 miles long?
Yeah, but good thing we got a lot of cameras around this place.
That is true. We have cameras mounted on walls to try and catch action. There's a lot of cameras that go into a JRTV race broadcast.
I'm glad we got the budget for it.
I'm glad we do too, because we would be missing a lot if it wasn't for all those cameras. See back there, I mean, they're still racing aggressively back there.
I think that was DeLello that hit the wall there in the 97. I couldn't tell, but I think they luckily made out another corner of someone hitting the wall, and no more incidences.
I think we're going to report it was DeLello that hit the wall back there in the 97, and it's not been a great weekend for Roush, kind of shockingly. The only one that qualified really up that well was Keyshawn Richardson in 5th. The others, Jordan Stout, qualified in 10th, and the other two were long back in the field, Matthew Burnett and Zachary DeLello. So it hasn't been a great time for Roush Racing here at Pocono.
Well, Joe, top 4 right now is 2 Penske, 2 Hendrick. So
it's true.
If it shows you who brought the... Oh, look at this. Teammates working together.
Oh, Keegan, I think, wanted a better arc into the corner, maybe. Went up high and actually missed the bottom doing that. And how about Anthony Nez now inside the top 5 in that one car? He could be going for 4th here. Keegan did not go off the tunnel turn well at all.
I wonder if Keegan might have given his teammate a little bit of a bump to get to the inside of Fitzwater, and then he goes, yeah, I'm going to get a better exit off of it, but it did not work out to his favor whatsoever, and that allowed the 1 to catch up. And actually, you know what? Here comes the 0-1 and the 33 together, and here comes Richardson.
Did you see in turn 3, Caden Lynn gave a bump to Benny Lynn? They're going to be teammates next season. They're obviously relatives. I don't know if that's good.
Do we know the relationship between them two?
Brothers.
Have we ever asked the owner?
Pretty sure they're brothers.
Are they? Okay.
Not mistaken. And yeah, that was an interesting one.
That'll be I don't know what it would be like being teammates with a relative, let alone a brother. So
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see how that goes.
Not gonna be good, in the house after this race. After Benny's like, why'd you pump me out of the way in turn 3 on lap 9?
Yeah, he lost quite a few positions ever since that too. I mean, look at him.
Yeah, I mean the 9 moved by him, the 25, the 18. Meanwhile, Thompson moves by his teammate Zidell. They were trying to run down Mitchell Collins, who's gotten away nicely, but the draft here at Pocono so strong and get these guys right back together. Hernandez now 3rd, Caden Lynn going for 4th on Zidell. Keyshawn Richardson could look for a top 5 here. Brett Silver moving up nicely in the 25. Jericho looked on Fitzwater, but didn't have the legs or the draft to make it work. The battle for 10th is on. Benny Lynn has it. Jordan Edwards, who's been strong as of the last few races, he wants it in the 9 car. He's currently 11th. Eli Bright 12th. Colin Teague is currently in 13th. Gary back to 14th. Noah Clifton all the way back to 15th. With Mitch Corbett right behind him. And then some craziness back here. Still looking 3 wide. Jordan Stout trying to gain some spots. Kukulon is there. Matthews Wells started 4th, but he's dropped in that 20 car tray.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't have the short run speed. He might have the long run speed, but if he does, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yes, he does. He is still dropping back, and with how hard it gets to pass cars on a long run here at Pocono, I would hate to have a longer run car because it just gets so difficult. Even if you have a really good car, you can be tenths faster than the guy in front of you, but it's just so hard to make passes work here. As we have battles up here, Zidell getting passed by Chris Jericho, so Zidell outside the top 5, battle just in front of them. Zach Fitzwater Sr. trying to get by Brett Sierra for 6th place, and then that'll put Sierra back into the clutches of his championship rival, Chris Jericho, who are 1-2 in points. Sierra closer than he's been since, I don't know, maybe race 2, race 3, because Jericho's been on fire this season, but it was his first DNF at Lowe's, his first finish worse than 13th last race, and now they're nose to tail at Pocono. Jericho led the first lap, Sierra hasn't led, and here they are battling for that 7th spot.
I think this is the first time, maybe all season, that these two have been so close on track together. I mean, I can't remember another race where they battled side by side for this long.
It's honestly true. I mean, lap 1 they were side by side for so long. Here they're nose to tail, but speaking of nose to tail, the leaders have caught Mitchell Collins, and Keegan Thompson is on express, and it's only going forward. That 5 car has brought Hernandez and Lynn up to the 12, and it might be only a matter of time before Keegan Thompson makes the move for the lead here on that number 12, Mitchell Collins. Thompson right on the back bumper into turn 1, but so far no move quite yet into 1.
This might be the first time all race where 1, 2, 3, and 4 have not been teammates. They're all different team members. I even include 5th place into that.
Yeah, Keyshawn Richardson, that's 5 teams inside the top 5. Then you have Fitzwater, Penske having a really good day right now, 1st and 6th. And, this is Bronson Minnick's home track, and he owns, Penske Racing. So it'd be a great gift to Minnick if they could win at his home track, get into victory lane at his home track.
Definitely seems like Penske's another team, an organization that's just kind of flipped the switch, and they've been competitive ever since. Could you go all the way back to Martinsville with Fitzwater?
Yeah, I think that was the catalyst, right? Fitzwater won at Martinsville, and that kind of flipped the switch of, Fitzwater knows what he's doing in these stock cars, and then maybe they started trading notes, and then, from there, it's like, all right, now both teams are running really well. They've both moved up inside the top 20 points because they were both outside the top 20 points for the longest time. But now, they're both running well. The last few races, they've had fast race cars, and here they are, 1st and 6th at the Pocono Raceway. And right now, Collins holding off Keegan Thompson, Anthony Nez, and Caden Lynn. Richardson right there. Sierra's gapped from Jericho. Zidell's gotten away as Eli Bright gets up to the top 10, the number 8. Then you have Mitch Corbett and Noah Clifton side by side for, this is kind of underfunded Central right here. Mitch Corbett, Noah Clifton, and Ronald Kennington, the 77, looking 3 wide.
Yeah, Ronald Kennington. I was so happy to see him pass so many cars on the last lap in the grass, and then sadly, he couldn't make it another lap, Joe. So it didn't count, but in my heart, it did.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone, right, that was watching that race was like, you know
They were
what?
so happy.
Yeah, right now it's just moved by Noah Kupson, so he's up to 12th place, and he was the slowest car in qualifying. He started back in 41st. He's up to 11th or 12th. We talk about how hard it is to pass here. Not for Ronald Kennington, apparently.
He's been saying, I mean, he's been talking to reporters and, you know, even sending out a couple of, you know, messages to other team owners saying he wants a little bit of a better car. And he's definitely making it look like that he can do good in, you know, an underfunded car. And imagine what he could do in a car like HMS or DEI or Penske as Keegan Thompson's making a move for the lead.
Yeah, he's had enough of went around on Mitchell Collins. He got the run that time off turn number 1, and it's going to be Hendrick Motorsports and Penske racing side by side off the tunnel turn. Keegan Thompson for Hendrick on the inside. Collins for Penske on the outside, waiting in the wings. Anthony has Caden Lynn and Keyshawn Richardson as Keegan Thompson clears and he leads the Pocono 500 here at the Pocono Raceway. Now the battle for second. Hernandez trying to get clear of Mitchell Collins in the quick mirror to keep touch with Keegan Thompson. Is a nice push from Caden Lynn to the inside to try and accomplish that.
Caden Lynn was gonna attempt to make it 3 wide here, but I think he might have thought better of it. This front stretch, Joe, might be one of the widest. Actually, you know what? He is gonna make it 3 wide.
I think it's the widest and the longest in NASCAR, right? It's never ending in both directions.
Yeah, and that's the good thing. I mean, these restarts or starts or however you want to look at it could be some of the craziest things we can see all season long. But at the same time, it could also be the scariest thing we've seen all season long.
Yeah, that's very true. I think we saw that in the start, right? Scariest thing we've seen all season long, but the greatest thing we've seen all season long.
Yeah, it's a give and take type of scenario, and luckily, I mean, we haven't had any incidences, so we could call it a win. And Brett Sierra is gonna make himself up into 3rd place now, with followed by Chris Jericho and his teammate Justin Zeidel.
Yeah, so Hernandez did get clear of that 3 wide scenario to get his way up to 2nd. Now Sierra, this is a big shuffle. He was 7th, excuse me, last time by. Now he's 3rd, so he gained 4 spots. Now the battle for 4th is on. Fitzwater on the outside, Jericho in the middle now, because Zeidel will go 3 wide into turn 1, and Fitzwater's going to clear the 2. Zeidel's to lift down low the 24, and Jericho, he's going to be stuck on the outside now in the 18.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think there was any room there to do that.
Yeah, that was very, very close. I don't know how Fitzwater was able to clear, and I don't know how the 24 made it stick on the inside like he did.
I don't know if Jericho's going to like that one very much, because if it was close for us, I can tell you for a fact it was close for him.
He's still fighting on the outside, though. He tried to use the draft from Fitzwater and the others on the outside to try and clear the 24. And I think he may have actually done it off the tunnel turn. I think he just got enough to clear Zeidel. It's oh so close into 3.
That's that power of that JGR car right there, and he should be able to maybe put a little bit of a distance between him and the 24, unless the 24 gets help from Richardson here. But he's the 66 might be slowly making his way back up.
Yeah, these two cars look like they have long run cars. The 66 and the 77, they both just got by. Eli Brand the 8. Corvette's now to 9th as he got by Mitchell Collins as well. And now Ronald Kennington looking to get inside the top 10, trying to get by the 12 of Mitchell Collins as well. So these two cars, they might actually have long run cars like you were mentioning with Wells. They're starting to come to life. They're both now 9th and 10th.
That is very true. But I mean, we're slowly starting to come to halfway, and the fuel was how long in this race?
22 to 25 laps. So they were within 5 to 10 laps of having to come down pit road for fuel.
So, I mean, this is where, you know, teams start to, we've talked about it so many times this season as well, so where teams start to figure out what their best strategy is going to be. If they want to undercut, if they don't want to undercut, come in with the leaders, they want to stay out longer than the leaders. I mean, with this type of track, I don't know what you would want to do.
It is one. It's interesting because tire wear is so big here at Pocono. It's just a worn-out surface. Obviously, you know, the Pennsylvania winters are rough. The Pennsylvania summers are rough. So this track gets beat up during all seasons. And you can have all 4 seasons in a day here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Yeah, this track wears out massively. So tire wear is big, but also you don't want to come in too soon because it could be congestion on pit road with that, right? A lot of drivers can have the same option, but if you stay out too long, it's tire wear. So you have to find the perfect scenario. When can I pit to where pit road is not completely full, but also so that I don't, you know, have super worn out tires and I lose all that ground, so I have to gain it back after pit stops. And Sierra gets to 2nd to make a Hendrick 1-2.
Yeah, and talking with, you know, pit stops in this track, this pit exit, Joe, is very unique,
yeah,
is what we could say, because there's no pit lane exit. It's just straight onto turn 1. And given that so many drivers prefer the bottom here because it is the racing line, and guys coming out of pit road, the speed difference, I mean, look at that. There's nothing there. So if you time it bad, it could be bad.
That is true. That could lead to an accident. So we'll have to watch for that all throughout pit stops. Meanwhile, this battle Ronald Kennington is absolutely flying in that 77. He's up to 7th and now going for 6th on Keyshawn Richardson. This is a Jasper Motorsports car passing a Roush car. He just passed a Hendrick car. I mean, the top 5's in front of him. If he can latch onto the draft, he could possibly gain on them.
I mean, again, Joe, he's trying to get a better ride. And what we've heard so many rumors so far this season about new teams, old teams leaving drivers, new cars coming in. I mean, if he can keep up this performance, some of these owners might be taking a little bit of a peek at him.
Yeah, rumors of a 4th Hendrick car coming next season. You know, rumors of where Eli Bright will go. I've heard he's gotten many contract options, right? I've heard from Roush. I've heard from Richard Childress. But although they then confirmed that all 3 of their drivers were coming back, so was that a hoax? I don't know. I've heard he's got an offer from Hendrick possibly. And also, you know, I'm sure DI wants to keep him. So, you know, Eli Bright might be the most sought-after driver. But there's other, you know, where's Zachary DeLello going to go if he doesn't get signed back to Roush? There's a lot of really big names right now in the market. So Nash tries to get second back for Brett Sierra here.
I mean, even think about it coming up with rumors. We heard today about, you know, Keegan Thompson probably leaving Hendrick Motorsports after 2003 season. So that could open up another ride if another driver wants to wait a little bit longer. I mean, there's just, Joe, this is the parts of, you know, the NASCAR season that just brings headaches and anticipation for next season, see different moves. But, I mean, at the moment, we got to focus on what's going on with this race. If he just had a pass for 2nd, another pass for 3rd is going to happen on Brett Sierra, even maybe a pass for 4th again if you know, Chris Jericho can keep up with these guys.
That is true. Jericho gained big in the draft because they were side-by-side punching a huge hole in the air, and Sierra's going to fight back on the outside. This is best shot right here because he's going to get drafted off the 1 as well. Fitzwater can only try and side draft, but side draft's not really working all that much, and Fitzwater's going to duck back in line, but it's going to allow Jericho looking low for 4th.
Well, that kind of worked out in Jericho's favor. He knew he was going to pass one car. He just didn't know which one it was going to be. And I guess it's going to be, you know, Fitzwater.
I think it is, but still Fitzwater fighting tough on the outside. Look at these 2 guys side by side. They've let the front 3 get away. No, by the way, here comes Ronald Kennington. He wants a top 5. He could get by Fitzwater here. And you know what? I didn't think about this, but Trey, they've mentioned how this is a road course type racetrack. I mean, Fitzwater, Kennington, both have come from road course experience. They're both running really well here today. Could that be part of it?
It definitely could be. But you know what, Joe? You know what lap we're on right now? 22.
Yep.
You know what that means?
Pit stops are imminent.
Yeah, where do you want to be?
Probably the leader, Keegan Thompson, right? But although he could get, you know, kind of screwed on this, right? Because they could come in early behind him and he won't know it. They can overcut him. I mean, yeah. I don't know where I'd want to be right now.
Oh, Kennington's making another pass on the points leader.
Yes, he is. This is amazing for that. I mean, listen, being the slowest in qualifying, I was not expecting anything like this. You know, maybe a top 20 run at best, but a top 5 run could be in the cards for Jasper Motorsports, Ronald Kennington.
The only thing, you know, he has to worry about now is when pit stops do come, he does not have that short run speed like he does. He has to wait for the long run. How many spots is he going to lose in that process?
That is a good point, right? If they can't find a way to get the short run a little bit better on the 77, that could hurt. Looks like so far no one is making the move of the front runners into pit road. The front 3 have gotten away nicely as they battle for 4th. They have about a 2nd gap over 4th place and 5th place. Now Mitch Corbett up to 6th. He just got by Jericho. Mitchell Collins up to 7th. He just got by Jericho. The 18 fading on the outside and has to try and find a way to get down line. Meanwhile, that pass for a 2nd is still ongoing. Sierra and Hernandez are not getting away from each other at all. Hernandez still trying to fight against Sierra, who sends in the deep end of the tunnel turn, but can't get there on the 1 car.
Yeah, the only person this is really helping right now is that 5 of Keegan Thompson, but still, it does not seem like he could really shake off Hernandez here, as he actually might have gained a little bit of ground on Keegan Thompson there after Brett Sierra tried to make that move going into the tunnel turn.
Yeah, I think whatever line he ran actually benefited him. Oh, here we go. Early pit stops. Corbett, I like this strategy, Trey, because they could gain a whole bunch of time on those drivers. I mean, they've fallen off probably, you know, a 2nd or so.
Yeah, I would probably say right around there. So this undercut here might actually jump them up to that 2nd they need, or even there was a lot more drivers than I expected to come in this time around.
Yes, there are. I mean, that is a whole lot of cars. So
half the field.
Yeah, I think they're split at half and half. But now the question is, who comes in this time and who wants to stay out even longer, right? Because they can go longer than this. So does someone dare try and overcut? And if the pit road is too congested this time?
Well, you definitely know Keegan's spotter told him about half the field coming down pit road this time. There's a big gap now between Keegan Thompson and 2nd place at Hernandez, so maybe they were creating some gap. It looks like they were.
They were, and look at Sierra create a gap as well because he's coming in. He's going a little bit lower. So far, everyone is coming
one.
down, except for Nolan Lawrence in the 26.
Well, if you can lead a lap, you might as well do it, huh?
I guess so, and I don't know if he even did. No, he didn't. He was 4th across the line last time.
Well, he might get around next time.
He might be able to go all the way around.
But well, let's see who comes out top of this group right here.
Yeah, watch for Keegan Thompson. He led in. Also watch for Brett Sear and Anthony Hernandez. Here comes Hernandez leaving. Can Keegan Thompson beat him out? Looks like he will, but just the one is right there. But here come the cars that came in earlier. They have fresher tires. They got up to speed faster. Brett Sear is going to leave right with the one of Hernandez. Here comes the 66 and the others up to speed into turn 1, trying to get there. They're side by side for 3rd. Kennington with a massive pit stop in the 77.
I remember what I said about this pit lane exit and how sketchy it could be. I mean, so far so good, but is it going to stay like that with the big group behind them as well? And so far, I mean, it looks clean.
Yeah, it looks like everyone did a really good job going to the outside
like
there.
good.
Not a good pit stop for Brett Sear at all, though, in that strategy.
No, not one whatsoever. He came in 3rd, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And when we come around, he looks like he's only dropped the spot.
He
maybe
dropped the spot, but he dropped so much time, I think, is the big thing, because the front two are just kind of gone. It's the 5 and the 1 they've left. And Kennington's going to keep that top 5 spot, and he has a run onto Brett right here through turn 3.
Is he going to be able to make them move, though? He's peeking.
Brett's blocking him off a little bit.
There yet.
So Nolan Lawrence did lead that last lap at the 26, so we did get a lap led there, so I guess that's mission accomplished. Caden Lynn for a spot. That's for 5th place right now on the L1, but Kennington doing a really good job keeping that door shut for now.
Yeah, I think Kennington sent that in there a little bit harder than Lynn did, so he was able to shut him off there. And looks like so far, I mean, everyone's pretty spread out here, just kind of getting their tires warmed up again. But never mind, here comes Kennington.
Here comes Kennington. Here comes Richardson as well to the inside of the tunnel turn. Kennington is going to possibly take this 4th spot away and then try and run down Mitch Corbett for 3rd place. Keyshawn Richardson trying to move further up. Fitzwater's moving up nicely in the 2 car. A big push to Richardson to get inside of Brett Sear. Now the 25 could fall back on the outside if enough cars get by him on the inside lane. Richardson trying to get by the 25. Kennington moves up to give some draft to the 25. Now moves back down to try and break the draft. 9 on the 2 are looking to try and push each other by that 25. If not, maybe go 3 wide on the 25. Fitzwater's looking out into turn 1.
You know what really amazes me after these pit stops is 11th on back. They just seem like they just lost the top 10. I mean, I feel like before the pit stops they were a lot closer together, but now they're almost like not even existent.
That is true. See, like the 12 is currently 10th, but yeah, the front 9 have really gotten away. Then you have, 10th place, 11th place. Jack Haas moved up nicely on pit road. But Zeidel's back here, Eli Brighton. There's where Jericho's fallen all the way down, currently in 14th place. With Brett Sear currently running up pretty well. Just got passed by a few more cars, though, for Brett. So he has fallen back a little bit to Jericho. But right now, it would be another gain for the 25 to the 18.
And, I mean, we'll have to see here. But the front 2 are still just kind of in their own little zone. I mean, Hernandez isn't really letting Keegan Thompson, pull away. But it does not seem like he's really reeling him in either at the moment.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like right now it's kind of staying consistent. So a battle for 4th place. Kennington on the outside. Richardson on the inside with a nice run in that Roush racing forward. Trying to get by that 77. Looks like he will easily through turn 1. Now can the 77 fight up top to try and keep that top 5 position off of Fitzwater. The 2 looks low. The 77 not a great exit off turn 1. The 2 and the 6 are looking to get to the inside of Kennington. But Kennington trying to use the draft from the 99. It's going to be oh so close. Fitzwater sends it in deep and Kennington to react up the track.
I thought he was going to slide right up into... Oh, he got close to that wall coming off.
Yes, he did. And meanwhile, Jericho's still getting past. I think that was Edwards got by him back there. Riley Sprotube. Colin Teagle's looking to get by him. Ronald Kennington losing the top 5 to Fitzwater. Losing more to Stout and Sear. Maybe even Lynn and Collins. Here comes Jack Haas. Zeidel and Eli Bright also right there at the front of the field. The 1 gained half a tenth on Keegan Thompson. There's still 12 to go. So there is still time for the 1 to catch the 5.
Yeah, that... Kennington having to let off there in the tunnel turn really hurt his momentum. I mean, he is just dropping like a rock right now. But we'll have to see if that long run car kicks in again here. But right now we just saw a pass for 3rd place here with Keyshawn Richardson getting past, and Fitzwater's going to use the momentum he got off the corner to possibly get to the inside. Yes, he is.
Kind of the same thing he did to Kennington, except I think there's a little bit more room this time than there was last time. Fitzwater getting to 4th place by that number 66 Mitch Corbett, who, remember, he did come in earlier, did an undercut. So his tire's a lap worse, so he could be feeling the effects of that. And also not as big of a team as some of these cars up here. Like, obviously, you just got passed by, you know, a Roush car, 2 more Roush cars, you know, a Hendrick car, a Penske car. So those are some big teams that are passing that number 66 right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still doing a fantastic job for
Yes, he is.
you know, the car he's in, and the type of racetrack this is too. I mean, he's doing great, and it's not over. We still got what 10 laps to go. He's got plenty of time to get back up there.
Yes, he does. If you get back in line, another driver gets shuffled to the outside, he can try and pass them back. But with 11 laps to go, let's do our lunch chat now in case the battle for the win heats up. Brandon Beal running pretty nicely right now. 96 currently scored in the 18th position. Has moved up nicely from his poor qualifying effort. But last week, we asked at the Lowesmore Speedway, should the World 600 be shortened from 80 laps? And you said no, Trey, and 94% agreed at no.
I think that's the strongest one we've had so far.
I think it is, as there's 3 wide up here. Rich Corbett getting shuffled up by Haas and Edwards. But this week, it's not a question about tracks. It's going to be a question about the drivers, Trey. Of these 4 drivers that have never won in the Winston Cup Series, which can accomplish that feat first? We have just 4 options. Eli Bright, Sebastian Kukulon. How about Luke Rainey? And then also, how about Anthony Hernandez?
Oh, so what? 2 DEI, 1 RCR, and then
1 Robert
I'm drawing
Yates.
a blank. Yeah, Robert Yates. So, I mean, think about Kukulon. He's definitely been the most consistent for RCR, and in my opinion, for the team so far this season. You got 2 DEI with the 8, and the guy in second place right now, actually Hernandez, and then Luke. We'll start with Luke, right? He's not always up front, but when he is, he has easily one of the most dominant cars during those stretches of races. Kukulon, I mean, he's normally a midfielder, mid-pack racer, but I think it's just the state of RCR at the moment, if we're going to be honest with you. And the 2 DEI, it also seems like they're either just hit or miss with their cars too, but if I'm going to have to pick one, with the hype around Eli Bright, I mean, it just seems like a lot of owners see the potential around him and what he can do for, you know, their team and the sport. I'm going to have to go with the 8 of Eli Bright.
All right, so we'll see, because I think, as mentioned, all 4 could they've run up front at times in races, and they could all be picks to win next. And Renan Hernandez obviously in the best shot in this race, but we'll see if he can try and accomplish it. 2 cars that have kind of come to life here as of late. Evan Hunter and Tim Gary are teammates from MB2 Motorsports, and they're moving up nicely. Evan's always, he's kind of given himself a little bit of a flack this season because he hasn't performed well as Tim. Tim up inside the top 10 points. Hunter could, you know, be failing to qualify for some races throughout this season. But as they run, Hunter and Gary, both currently, I think, moving up nicely in that 36 and the 10, just outside the top 15, currently 18th and 19th. And Evan right now outperforming Tim by a position.
Yeah, I mean, for teams like, you know, they have right here, it's those little wins that could really, you know, start momentum for a huge, bigger outcome. And, I mean, if they both finish inside the top 20, top 15, they could take that and, you know, see the potential and go even bigger next week. And we'll have to see what they can do out of that. But wait, Joe, hold on a minute. Yeah. Did you avoid the question? You didn't give an answer.
I didn't. No, I don't normally give answers, Trey, but...
Oh, come on. I want to hear your opinion for this one. We're going to include you this time.
If you want my opinion, I'm going to go with Kukulon.
All right, I like that. That's a nice pick. I like that. I guess we'll have to see what everyone else thinks whenever the the poll ends here. But we'll have to see whoever's right. Well, you know what? We might throw a little side bet on which one gets it done first.
We could. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait 2 weeks because we're off next week. But at Road America, we'll figure out what's happening. But they're still racing pretty aggressively here at Pocono. This is for around 6th place or so. The front 2 have gotten away, and it's not really changed. Thompson leads Hernandez by 3.5 tenths, looking to win a winless drought that's and a winless drought that's almost gone for a full year. Hernandez trying to win for the first time ever and for the first time for DEI. And then these 3 right here in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they're kind of there in case the front 2 make contact. But currently they're just kind of scored 3rd, 4th, 5th, and they've gotten away. The battle for 6th is Jordan Edwards, Eli Bright. Kennington's trying to come back. Zidell is there. Riley Spurgeon's moved up nicely. There's Caden Lynn. He did the undercuts, working out for him in the 01. And Chris Jericho's coming back in the 18. He's trying to gain some of these spots back to limit the loss to Brett Sear here today in terms of points.
Yeah, I mean, he took a big hit last week with the big incident he had. I mean, Joe, when he went out, when he finally had a DNF, he did it big, and it took a major points hit with that, and now points only 45 the difference is between 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
So, Jericho's got to start to work on some spaces here to hopefully limit, the more damage that Brett Sierra could do into his points lead.
It was great to see, though, that Jericho was okay after that very, very big crash, getting into the catch and flipping over. Some very hard hits in that crash for Jericho. Luckily, he was okay, walked away. But this battle for 6th, Eli Bright's moving up nicely, trying to make it a good day for DEI. Currently 2nd and 6th right now as Eli Bright moves by. Zaidel's trying to get by for 7th place. Chris Jericho's trying to move further forward, trying to maybe get inside the top 10. Because right now, Sierra running in 4th. Remember, Jericho did lead a lap early on. Sierra didn't, so that's 5 bonus points for Jericho. 5 that Sierra will not get here today as we come around to 5 laps to go. But yeah, at the moment, the 8 team would lose even more points to Brett Sierra, and Sierra currently, I think he smells some blood in the water. Jericho had a bad day, and now he's kind of rebounding on that.
You know, I mean, all it really takes is that one small hiccup, and it could open up the whole door. I mean, we saw it last season, right? With me and Keegan Thompson DNF from the last race, and we were able to pounce on it and take the championship away from him. But it's just those smallest things, Joe, can really flip around this championship race, and that's the one thing I like about this series and all that, and how the point system is that the smallest incidences could cause the biggest effects.
That is true. I mean, throughout the summer last season, it looked like Keegan couldn't be touched for the championship. He was the dominant force, and then come the fall, you and Justin Zaidel were gaining on him, and then it looked like it was going to be between Thompson and Zaidel, and then they both had issues in the last few races, and you came out on top. That's just how wild the Winston Cup Series is, as Brett Sierra moves to 3rd, trying to get more spots between he and Jericho. Is currently scored back in the 12th position, trying to get even more spots. So you see Kennington and Zaidel on the outside back there. There is a pass for 4th place. Fitzwagen by Keyshawn Richardson and Eli Bright. They have fixed that 8 car because he's absolutely flying in the second round of the race. He's now up to a position where he can get inside the top 5, make it 2 DI cars inside the top 5 here today.
I mean, again, this is another thing, like I said earlier, about these teams, that they just need those small things to really help boost, momentum for them. And if DEI can get 2 cars inside the top 5, what could that do for the future of this team?
That is true. He's pushing Keyshawn Richardson, trying to get Richardson to 4th and then himself to 5th. And I think he's going to accomplish that. So Eli Bright up to 5th place, fell back massively throughout the midpoint of this race, but now he's up inside the top 5. Jordan Edwards also coming up nicely in the 9 car. He's bringing Stout, Sprogem, and Jericho with him. So Jericho moved by Zaidel and Kennington both. He's inside the top 10 now with 3 to go. At the front, still 3 tenths separate Keegan Thompson from Anthony Hernandez, as the 1 cannot get any closer to the 5.
It's also probably helping that the 1 has no one behind him, so he can't really get a push from anyone. He can't, get any help whatsoever. So he's kind of at a stalemate right now, and I really haven't seen him move from 3 tenths at all. So it'll be interested to see maybe if Keegan Carr dies off with the next couple of laps. But I mean, we're gonna be honest, knock on wood, I haven't seen any hiccups from that 5 team at all this race so far. So I guess we'll have to see what the next 2 laps tells.
Yeah, I think the lowest I saw the gap 0.28 was the lowest I saw it, and it's kind of just hovered around 0.28 to 0.35 throughout the this whole run, as Eli moved to 4th by the number 99. Now he's looking for 3rd because he's gaining on Sierra right here using that draft. That 8 car is absolutely flying right now with 2 laps to go. I don't know if I'll have the time to get to Sierra and pass him because it's very hard to pass here, Pocono, but I mean, with the run he got down the straightaway, I think he could definitely be there in the last lap.
I think he could too, and I mean, we were talking about the 2 cars in the top 5 for DEI. How about 2 cars in the top 3?
I think it could definitely happen. Eli has a run onto Sierra. Meanwhile, Jericho's trying to get even more spots, and it's 2 Roush cars that could be the catalyst in that. Here comes Eli for 3rd place on Sierra into the tunnel turn. I think he's going to get it coming around to the white flag. So Eli to P3. What a great recovery. That 8 car absolutely flying in the second round of the race. I think he's wishing this race was 10 laps longer.
I mean, if it was maybe 5 laps long, he could be up there with the top 2 if he got the pace he's going right now. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be too upset with the top 3 either.
I don't think he is. Coming around to the white flag for Keegan Thompson. Has a nice gap over Hernandez. One more time around Pocono. 2.5 miles. He'll be a winner again in the Winston Cup Series. That 2nd place finish at the Lowe's Motorsport could have just been the catalyst to a good stretch of races for the 5 team. Also, think about this summer, how strong they were last season in 2000. Maybe this could be the stretch of races where they pick it back up. This battle for 4th and 5th and all that still ongoing. Fitzwater trying to get by Sierra for 4th. Edwards is there trying to get back inside the top 5. Spurgeon also there along with Keyshawn Richardson and Chris Jericho waiting in the wings. It's all kinds of craziness entering the tunnel turn on the last lap.
Think about that. Each spot Brett loses, it's another spot that Jericho gains closer to him, and that's less points that, closes up that little bit of a gap they have there. But Joe, we're coming off the last corner.
Yes, we are. Keegan Thompson's been almost a year since he last found victory, and was Richmond in the summer of last season. But the wait is over. Checkered flag. Keegan Thompson with his first win of the season at Pocono. Hernandez 2nd. Eli Bright will come home 3rd. And it's a side-by-side battle for 4th between Brett Sierra and Jordan Edwards at the stripe.
Yo, didn't I say it before we started racing? Third time's a charm for the strong cars of Keegan Thompson.
Yep, third time was the charm, Trey.
Did I call it? I'm gonna count that as I called it.
That's great for Keegan, though. I mean,
I mean, you think about it. Texas, he probably had the car that was gonna win it, but then he got DNF'd on a place you wouldn't think, pit road.
and then even think about last race, right? Because he had a car that could win. He and Mathis Wells were probably going to battle it out to the end. A yellow comes out because of a car that was multiple laps down, and he didn't have a shot because it ended a few laps early.
I mean, I honestly think he was more heartbroken over last week than he was Texas. I mean, for that to happen is just absolutely breathtaking. But I mean, I think this win right here at Pocono is going to take so much weight off his shoulders. And who knows, Joe? This could kickstart another absolute dominant season for this 5 team. I guess we're gonna have to wait to see what Hendrick's cooking up.
Yeah, I think the confidence is back for Keegan Thompson because confidence was way down. He was way down himself about his performances this season. Wondered, what happened. Why am I running so poorly? And my teammates are running so well. Well, he's just gotten to victory lane. He's going to go nicely in points after that one as Thompson wins the Pocono 500 here at the Pocono Raceway. Second place to Anthony Hernandez, Eli Bryant third. So the DEI cars second and third here today. Definitely nothing to be angry about. That is an accomplishment for both those drivers. Fitzwater ends up in 4th place, and Brett Sierra, a well-needed top 5 for that 25, did gain just a few more points on Chris Jericho as Jordan Edwards and Keyshawn Merchant finished 6th and 7th, but Jericho got up to 8th there at the end, so a great rebound in that last run of the race for Jericho. Spurgeon with a well-deserved 9th place, and Ronald Kennington from the back of the grid to a top 10, that number 77 Jazz Motorsports car. Definitely a really good run for them. Stout in 11th, Zidell in 12th. Mathis Wells a good rebound, 13th place after a poor start for his race. Kukulon 14th, Haas in 15th. Then you have Tim Gary, he got up to 16th at the end. Lynn fell to 17th, Hunter in 18th. Then you have Matthew Burnett 19th, and Brandon Beal with a top 20 day for PPI Motorsports, the highest finishing car from that organization. Down here, Mitchell Collins fell big time, down to 21st. Mitch Corbett down to 22nd. Look at Laura Chung, 23rd. Could that be what she needs to get inside the top 35 in points finally? DeLello not the day he wanted. Colin Teague down here. Atkins down here. Lathan Strickland has to be very disappointed after seeing his teammates go 2nd and 3rd. He got 30th here today at Pocono. Luke Rennie, not the homecoming he was looking for, 34th. Noah Clifton was running well along with Benny Lynn. They've fallen outside the top 30. Jay Randall, Conrad Evans down here. He won this race last season. Gets 36 this season. His bad string of races continues after the past few races. And then down at the bottom, Lawrence and Baird. Look at Logan Williams down here along with Jamie Stanmore Jr. and Baby Rose way off the pace in the 92. He was multiple seconds off of the race leaders. And Trey, once again, the points will tighten after Pocono. Brett Sierra gains just a few more points on Chris Jericho.
This is starting to turn up to be something that it's gonna get exciting, Joe.
Yes, it is. I mean, I think the summer months. Think about last season. The summer months after it was around this time, right? Jericho had a lot of second place finishes, was on top of the world, was gaining on you and Keegan Thompson for the points lead, but the summer months hit him hard, and he dropped massively in points and couldn't recover, even though he had a really good fall period. The summer months were back to Chris Jericho, so watch for that trade throughout the summer. Could the 18 maybe stumble to 25 gain? And who knows? We saw Keegan Thompson run well here today. Could Keegan get back up into a trade? I think the summer is going to be the time to watch the Winston Cup Series.
I'm ready for it. I'm sad that we take an off week, but I mean it's just gonna make me wanna come back to this even more.
Yeah, the momentum of the great races might stop for a week after race number 15, but it should be back for race number 16, Trey, because we're going back to road course racing. I'm sure Fitzwater, Kennington, they are very, very happy about it because we're going racing for the first time ever in the Winston Cup Series at the Road America Road Course in Wisconsin. It's the Pepsi 500K. Trey, we don't know what to expect there.
I'm curious. I mean, I have no experience on the track, like you said. It's the first time we go, so I can't even give any tidbits on how to run the place.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna know really how to run it until we get to practice, and I think practice could be one to watch over the race maybe because you're gonna be seeing a lot of mistakes as drivers try and push the limits and find the limits around that road course.
Yeah, I think the owners of the teams might be a little nervous that they might be bringing home some junked up race cars during practice. So we'll have to see what goes on.
Yeah, so tune in 2 weeks' time to JRTV for the race from Road America, the first ever Winston Cup Series race. That's going to be a historic one and a great one to see. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rokowski. What a great race we saw here today at the Pocono 500 at the Pocono Raceway. Congratulations to Keegan Thompson for getting his first win of the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season.